What's going on, everybody? This Afro think tank. Okay, so while everybody is distracted by the Charlie Kirk thing, right? And the whole, Israel thing, and the whole European about to go to war thing, right? While everybody distracted by trying to figure out this Jeffrey Epstein thing, right? Donald Trump has ordered the removal of all pictures and signs that has anything to do with slavery. Because he said we need to get rid of this wokeness, right? Which means black, right? History from America. He is trying, he wants to get, now where are the black Trump supporters at? Where are the black Trump supporters at? Now, I went on TikTok and I saw a few idiots saying, yeah, I agree. I'm tired of seeing it. And shut the fuck up and don't look at them. Dumbass nigga. All right, that's what I got to say. Any black person that's agreeing with this Donald Trump thing. He thinks that if you get rid of the signs, it didn't happen. This is how basic their minds are, right? This guy is making moves as if he plans on being the president for life. This guy is doing things that as if shit can't just get, turned around in a year or two. As if they're not just gonna put the shit back up. Like, he doing things like it's gonna be permanent. That's what he's doing. It's weird. To me, it's weird, right? But it should tell you that Donald Trump doesn't plan on leaving the White House. The things that he's doing, he does not plan on leaving the White House. I want you to keep that in mind, all right? Keep that in mind. But he thinks that if you remove the pictures, you can't see. These dudes are living in the analog days, right? We have this thing called the internet, right? It got all kind of information on it. It got all kinds of pictures. It got all kinds of stuff. And then you got these things called private museums, right? Private exhibitions. This shit ain't going nowhere. Just like them Jeffrey Epstein files ain't going nowhere. Ha! Black history ain't going nowhere because American history is black history. It's impossible. You cannot, here's the thing. You can't whitewash it if you do it during the day. If everybody watch you try to paint a black wall white, right? First of all, we're watching you paint the black wall white. So when you're done painting it, you can't tell me that the wall is white because you're going to see the black coming through. You're going to see the black coming through. And it's going to chip and you're going to see that black on the inside. Like, we're literally watching you do it. Maybe this would have worked back in the day before the internet, before TV, and before people had a thing called, like internet, social media. Before all that shit, maybe this would have worked. Maybe people would have been born and would have saw, nothing ever happened in America. Settlers came and they settled and they had Turkey with the Native Americans and they brought, Africans came over here and they all worked together to build America. That's what they want you to believe, right? If this is not guilt, white guilt, I don't know what is. If this is, and keep in mind, Trump is a German. He's a German, third generation German. His family wasn't even over here during that shit. But this is not his doing. This is the white supremacists behind him. This is the neo-Nazis behind him. They have a short-term mindset, but this is a long-term world, right? And this is just, watching white supremacy flail in the wind is amazing. This doesn't offend me. I'm laughing at this. This is funny to me. Because this is not going to do anything to stop white people from finding out what their ancestors did. I'm sorry, because that's what it's about. You're trying to, if you think by doing this, white people won't figure out the true history of America. They're going to figure it out. All right? They're going to figure it out. As a matter of fact, you're highlighting it by doing it out in the open. But you know what? Keep doing what you're doing. Because you're doing such a wonderful job. Führer. All right? The Führer. The Fourth Reich. All right? Donald Trump. That's not even how you say his name. It's Trump. Yo, his name is German. Trump is not his true last name. It's a German name. It's Trumpf. It's some weird shit like that. One of them names you can't pronounce. You need no lips to pronounce that shit because, you got lips. You going to fucking trip all over them shits trying to say them German names. But yeah, he got a straight up German name. Trump is his American name. He's got a German name. Look that shit up. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
So it turns out the Trump administration has ordered national parks to start removing exhibits about slavery. One of the targets, the scourged back. the 1863 photograph of Peter Gordon, an enslaved man who escaped in Louisiana. His back was torn with scars from years of whipping. When the photo spread in the North, it shocked the country and helped fuel support for emancipation. Now rangers are being told to take it down, to cover it up, to scrub it out. And this isn't just about one photo. At Harper's Ferry, signs about the hostility faced by people who escaped slavery are being flagged as out of compliance. At George Washington's house in Philadelphia, exhibits about the 9 people he enslaved are under review. The message seems to be clear. Tell a brighter, more slanted, supposedly patriotic version of history and erase the parts of it that make some people feel uncomfortable. Pair that with the administration's attacks on DEI across federal agencies, schools, and workplaces, and then also their support of rhetoric from allies like Charlie Kirk, who called white privilege a myth, said Democrats want to, quote, diminish white demographics, and even claimed prowling blacks go around for fun to target white people. How hateful, right? When you normalize that language, erase evidence of slavery, you're not protecting history. It seems like you're trying to inflame division and pick sides. So here's what I want to ask you. How do you all feel about that? Should the government get to erase history because it makes certain groups feel uneasy, even in something as serious as preventing slavery again? Whose discomfort is being protected here? White Americans who don't want to feel guilty, or the rest of us, including other white Americans and everybody else who feels we need to learn from history so we don't repeat it? I'm a civil rights attorney, so you already know where I'm at. I think that these scars are not corrosive ideology. They're the truth. They are the warnings. And if we cover them up, we risk repeating the very injustices they're meant to prevent. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Are we preserving history or letting it being erased to stoke division? What's going on? Thank you, everybody, for your support. Take care. Have a great day.
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration has reportedly begun ordering the removal of signs and exhibits related to slavery at multiple national parks, according to the Washington Post. The Post is now reporting that the Trump administration has ordered the removal of signs and exhibits at multiple national parks, including a historic photograph of a formerly enslaved man showing scars on his back. The removals, according to the Post, were in line with Trump's executive order directing the entire Interior Department to eliminate information that reflects a, quote, coercive ideology that disparages historic Americans. There was removal at Harper's Ferry National Historic Park. That's a place where John Brown, the abolitionist, led a raid seeking to arm slaves for a revolt. This is just the beginning. More and more information will soon be removed across the country as Trump tries to whitewash American history. I'll provide you more updates as always and follow along for all the news you need to know.
While we're distracted with the Charlie Kirks and the Candace Owens and the wars in Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Gaza and Puerto Rico and Venezuela and all things negative, guys, listen up. Trump administration orders removal of information around slavery at national parks, including a historic photograph of a formerly enslaved man showing scars on his back. The removals were in line with President Trump's March executive orders directing to eliminate information that reflects a corrosive ideology that disparages historic Americans. And the National Parks Service officials are broadly interpreting that directed to apply to information on racism, sexism, slavery, gay rights, and persecution of indigenous people. They're trying to erase African American history and indigenous history, guys. This is not okay. I don't know why more people aren't outraged at this point, because this is what they've done in the Holocaust. This administration, their actions points to the direction that they're trying to preserve white supremacy. They're racist. This is the actions that I'm talking about. We need to know this history. Our children need to know the history. So if they go to repeat history again, they know how to identify it when it comes. Why aren't they removing Christopher Columbus statues all over America? Exactly. That's one to think about. They're actively trying to erase history. Guys, they try to tarnish the reputation of Martin Luther King. Donald Trump couldn't stand having a head statue of Martin Luther King in his Oval Office, and he asked for it to be removed. I don't know. If this doesn't get you upset, I don't know what will, guys. While we're all distracted by all the negative stuff happening in the world right now, this is what's happening behind the scenes. And they hate to say They hate to see us say, well, this president and this administration are racist, and anybody that supports them, like the Charlie Kirks. So there you have it, guys. Make sure you like this video, comment, repost, share, and as always, follow me.
Get him, Puffy Lion, dog.
A new directive by the Trump administration is leading to the removal of history exhibits. Exhibits and signage related to slavery, racism, indigenous peoples' history, and other aspects of the United States history are being removed from national parks across the U.S. This comes after a March executive order from Trump which directs the Interior Department to remove anything that they call corrosive ideology. Effects of this are already being seen. At Harpers Ferry National Historical Park, which is the site of abolitionist John Brown's raid against slavery, National Park staff are being told to remove related signage. At the President's House site in Philadelphia, where George Washington enslaved people during his presidency, exhibits even mentioning slavery are being flagged as non-compliant by the new policy. Jonathan Zimmerman, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, called this an enormous increase in federal control over what the public is allowed to learn at civic institutions. He also pointed out the contradiction that this is coming from an administration that has often argued for less federal control when it comes to education. The story raises huge questions about who actually writes historical narratives and what happens when key aspects of our history are taken out.
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration has reportedly begun ordering the removal of signs and exhibits related to slavery at multiple national parks, according to the Washington Post. The Post is now reporting that the Trump administration has ordered the removal of signs and exhibits at multiple national parks.
You may recognize this image. This is a photograph from 1863 of Peter Gordon in Louisiana, a former enslaved man who obviously lived for the rest of his days with the marks of his enslavement.